The U.S. Air Force's B-1 Lancer strategic bombers, popularly dubbed Bones for B-1, circles over battlefields in Syria and Afghanistan like angels of death, dispensing GPS-guided bombs from on high. Yet the B-1 started out as an overpriced nuclear bomber that was arguably obsolete by the time it entered service. Thus, a bomber designed to dodge Soviet surface-to-air missiles and interceptors found its niche battling Taliban and ISIS insurgents. During the 1940s and 1950s, the U.S. military sought to push its bombers to ever higher altitudes and faster speeds to protect them from flak guns and fighter planes. Pushing new performance envelopes with the pressurized B-29, and later the B-47 and B-52 Stratofortress strategic jet bombers. But by the early 1960s, the shoot-down of high-flying U-2 spy planes over China and Russia by surface-to-air missiles made it clear that altitude no longer offered dependable protection. The Air Force tried developing the huge XB-70 Valkyrie bomber to sustain speeds over 3 times the speed of sound. But the Soviets countered with the Mach 3-capable MiG-25 Foxbat interceptor. The Pentagon gave up on the Valkyrie in 1962 and began investing more in ground and submarine-launched ballistic missiles to provide nuclear deterrence. The Air Force at first adopted the supersonic F-111 Aardvark to perform this mission, but wanted a larger, longer-range workhorse. The Nixon administration authorized development of a Northrop Rockwell B-1 design, which saw its first flight in 1974. The B-1 remains well liked by pilots for its unusual maneuverability and responsiveness for an aircraft of its size, as you can see in this video. In the early 2000s, Boeing even floated a concept for Mach 2-capable B-1R model using the F-119 turbofans of the F-22 Raptor and armed with air-to-air missiles. The costly new bomber featured swing wings which could sweep forward to a 15-degree angle to maximize lift during takeoff or landing, allowing the 44.5-meter-long plane to operate from shorter forward air bases. To minimize drag for supersonic flight, the wings could tuck inwards to a 67.5-degree angle. At high altitude, the 4 B-1A prototypes could achieve up to 2.2 times the speed of sound, assisted by 2 flexible vanes situated under the nose that help stabilize airflow. This time, the Air Force sought a cheaper, revised B-1B model which could fly further, 6,000 miles. With heavier payloads but at a reduced high-altitude speed of Mach 1.2, 830 miles per hour, or Mach 0.95 at low altitude. This was because the aircraft's 4 F-101 afterburning turbofans nestled into the wing roots were no longer designed to swing back with the wings. There was no longer any pretense that the B-1 would outrun fighters and air defense missiles. Instead, the B-1B's aluminum and titanium skin surfaces were reshaped and coated with radar-absorbent materials to reduce radar cross-section to just 2.5 meter, roughly that of a small F-16 fighter. Though far from being a stealth plane, the B-1 would not be susceptible to detection and targeting at very long range like a B-52 would be. As of 2017, 62 B-1s remain in service with the 7th and 28th Bombardment Wings based in Texas and South Dakota respectively, though aircraft are often operationally deployed to Diego Garcia and El Udeid Air Base in Qatar. The Air Force plans on retiring the B-1 bomber by 2036, while the B-52 is slated to remain active well into the 2040s and possibly beyond. While the B-1 is slightly cheaper to operate at $63,000 per flight hour, the B-1 reportedly is more difficult to maintain, 74 man-hours of maintenance for every flight hour, and thus suffers from lower readiness rates of 50%.